Pastor, I've been in the community for 30 years. Been part of human growth and development research for curriculum for most of those 30 years. I was disappointed to see the kind of disinformation and innuendo that's coming to bear on this, and I just want to let the board know that this is not a religious issue, that there are those who feel that if the curriculum should be taught, imagine that, our school should be teaching, and I support it. Thank you.
Thank you. Next will be Lori Doyle. She'll be talking about the Health and Youth Act.
I'm here this evening asking the school board members to consider opting out, at least to give us a chance, an opportunity to see the curriculum, the actual books. And I understand that those will be made available to the school district in June. Is that my understanding? I don't understand as we as parents in the community, we've had no opportunity to see the actual material rather than a general guideline. And I have with me this evening, there's more behind this whole curriculum. It's either you're with it or you're against it. I'm not opposed to sex education. We all currently have 2 years in the middle school and in the high school. I just don't understand why we need to go K through 12 and realize what the state is actually pushing down our throats as parents and the community. And I have a material that I like to present to the school board. It's called the Child Register. And in this is 2 pages, and it tells about how our tax dollars are being used against us to basically seduce the children in the classroom, and how it is critical that this type of information should be not introduced to children during earlier years, considering the latent years that should be kept quiet. So I'm handing this, if I could, to the school board members, and I hope that you will read through this.
Are you finished, Maureen?
Could I just go one page on the behavioristics? Currently, what we were taught as parents in school, we were given traditional values. And I noticed that in the last committee meeting, the school nurse had mentioned values. You can't tell me in this room right now that values mean the same to each and every one of us. Some can have Judeo-Christian values and so on, but values is a very broad definition. The opposing philosophy in the traditional values. The 2 minutes up.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next up is Scott Salford. He will be talking about the sex ed curriculum.
Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you, board members, for allowing me to speak tonight. I'm here in my official capacity as district attorney. As you all know, I identified the radical change in the law that has sparked a lot of controversy around Wisconsin. School districts like Mauston are now grappling with this radical mandate. I'm asking the school district to do is to stop, take a deep breath, vote no, opt out, and let the legislature repeal or amend this law, and it will be repealed or amended in a few months. But I'm not just saying no, don't do anything. What I am recommending is this. And with due respect to the members of the Human Growth and Development Committee, it was not a representative committee of the public. And it was done largely in secret. It was only until the very last meeting it was even publicly noticed. What I'm asking you, Mr. President, to do is to lead a committee of community leaders. And there are a lot of us out there, community leaders, that want to see some more interaction between us and the school district. What I recommend is establishing a panel that you would lead to talk about community interests. And in the alternative to human growth and development curriculum that's been proposed is to have community leaders come in medicine, law enforcement, the media, etc., to talk to kids about issues that are facing us as adults and leaders, and them and where they relate to all this. It's something we can put together in a very short period of time. It doesn't involve any additional money by the school district, but it will allow community leaders to be fully integrated with the education of the children here. I speak as a representative of all the people of Chino County when I tell you there is a lot of opposition to this. And tonight, what you're being asked to vote on is basically to support a Planned Parenthood piece of legislation, and that's what it was. It was a Planned Parenthood ACO piece of legislation versus all of the Republicans and one of the Democrats in the legislature who voted against this for good cause. So, Mr. President, I do ask that you would take the lead, vote no on this tonight, and allow for a public committee to be established where we can really integrate community leaders with our kids.
Okay, thanks, Scott.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Next up is Chris Arns. We should be talking about the proposed curriculum for human growth development K-12.
Hi, my name is Chris Arns, and I have a 7th grader. I also have a sophomore here in the Mauston School District. And I just wanted to speak briefly, won't take very long, and give you, I know a lot of parents have this opinion, because I've been called with this opinion, that, with this, I hope it does pass tonight. I hope you do pass it. But maybe think about a plan where you can have an itinerary set up of what the teacher will be teaching for that week, that month, so that if a student's parent does not want a child to partake in that, that class or that hour or that day of class, they can sign a waiver form, and they won't have to worry about having their child having that education that they do not want. Personally, I want my children to have all the education that they can get, all the knowledge they can get, for being preventative in their health. So thank you, and thanks for all your work.
Wow, 2 minutes on a subject that can affect a child's entire life. It was stated at the Sex Education Committee meeting on August 20th by committee members and a public commenter that introduced himself as a high school counselor that pregnancies in schools were on the rise. It was also stated by Donna McGinney, and she was quoted in the newspaper as saying that the current curriculum that has been taught for 20 years will not change, and only a few things were to be added to comply with Wisconsin Act 134. If teaching the same sex-ed curriculum for 20 years has resulted in the rise of pregnancy and loss in schools, as these people have stated, don't you think we need to ask yourselves if we need to change this? Let's say as a school board we vote to opt in Wisconsin Act 134. A parent, based upon curriculum outlines and materials provided to them by the school, opts their child into the course. Then let's say the instructor, a staff member or school official, either certainly or inadvertently, teaches that child more than what was provided to the parent in the course outlined for the curriculum. Or the child seeks advice or information from any school staff member on subjects that go beyond the course outline or materials that the parents were provided, and the child is given that information. Can and will there be any repercussions for that staff member, or is he or she protected by Wisconsin Act 134? Thank you.
Thank you. Next is Mike Kalanda.
All right, great. Thank you very much for your time. I appreciate it. The purpose of my address in the elected board is to ask this board to opt out of the Human Growth and Development Program. I've discussed this program with several parents, and none of the parents know what this is about. None of them. Okay, so the communication on this has not been the greatest. I'm against the government making decisions that belong in the family. I, as a parent, I strongly believe, very strongly believe, that the teachers and the parents are partners in a common goal, the education of our children. To have an effective partnership, the teachers and parents must work together for the best interest of the child. How can you have an effective partnership when the teacher is going to teach the sex material to our children, and yet the teacher cannot even show the parent what they're going to teach? Mauston School District offers many wonderful opportunities for our children, and it's always a pleasure to talk to our teachers and leaders and see their excitement on what they're learning. I'm impressed with the new house they build every year, and our music department is a wonderful treat for the community. Please, remember the subjects. I'll go to the end since I'm almost done here. Finally, I just want to give you some food for thought. Please remember you want to be elected to this board. I remember that several of you communicated to the public. You want to help our students have the best opportunity to achieve their dreams and have the best education we can offer. Please remember that you're in partnership with the parents, not the ACLU. The parents and taxpayers trust you and wish you success in your duties. Thank you.
Thank you. Next is Deborah Frazier, and she's talking about the medical standpoint on each one.
Good evening. I've worked as a nurse, actually as a nurse for 28 years. I'm a mother of 3 children. My daughter also goes to school at Mauston School. And I'm talking about opting out only for the fact that from a medical standpoint, if we look at brain development of adolescents, their prefrontal cortex, the place where they make the executive decisions that you and I, over the age of 18 now made, and we're standing in front making those decisions for them, does not come into play until they're 18. So you give a 14-year-old your life, an open book of what could be out there without really a lot of guidelines, you're going to end up with them making decisions based on emotional and hormonal things that could change from one day to the next. One of the researchers that I talked about and that I looked up is Ronald Dahl. He's an MD in the University of Pittsburgh. If you'd like, I'll go to the website. He talks basically about the fact that if you look in a 4-day span, a 14 and a 15-year-old can get into a sexual relationship without even thinking of the consequences. We can lay out there that they can use whatever birth control or that's out there, but they're not going to in the heat of passion because it's all emotion. What I'm asking is that you opt out, so that if we really are going to give our kids good information, that we base it upon where they're at in the developmental stages. I don't believe that, not giving them sex education, I think that's wrong too. But I think we can do it in a way that meets their needs. I have seen, and studies have shown, that if a woman waits at least 2 years over the age of 18, her chances to have a good carry her through pregnancy are much higher. When they're 14 and 15, personally I've seen girls who can't have children or carry them because of too many procedures. So if we think that education is going to fix it, it's not. This bill isn't going to fix our education. I thank you.
Thank you. Next is Mike Haig. He'll be talking about proposing new growth and development curriculum.
Thanks for letting me speak, and I'm the one that's been teaching all this stuff for the last 22 years. And I can proudly say that I've been teaching this for over 30 years in 5 different school districts, and it's really a challenge teaching young students about sexuality. It's a fun challenge, and trends in teenage pregnancy are always changing, and the style of how to teach sex ed has always been changing. I remember growing up in the 50s and 60s, you separate the boys and the girls, and you tell them everything, and then in the 70s, I was taught in college how to teach health education and sex ed in the classroom, so it came in the classroom in the 70s, and in the 80s when the AIDS broke out, and so the sex ed information intensified, and then since the 90s and up until about 10 years ago, it was abstinence only. And since then, it's been a little bit more comprehensive. And thus the reasons why you have the different trends in teenage pregnancy. So I would like to continue on teaching. The curriculum is now up on our website, our school website. All 15 lessons are in there. You can examine them. And the board has received those a week ago. And you're going to find that it is a comprehensive sex ed curriculum that takes everything into consideration. And please accept this for policy and allow me to continue teaching. Thanks.